Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Again, as we always like to try to do, I'd like to congratulate Central Arkansas on a great season. Quite an accomplishment to go 28-4 on the year. I was very, very impressed with their ball club, with how hard they fought, how scrappy they were, a team that just never quit. And that's one thing we tried to explain to our kids before the game started, that you have to have respect for everybody. You've got to understand that there's a reason they're here. And they came out, I thought, for first period and punches in the nose. I was just really impressed with them. And I told Coach as we shook hands there at the end, I was just really impressed with her ball club, what she does with them. I think they're well coached. And I told all the kids as we went by, just how impressed with how hard they play. It's a very, very good basketball team, and there's a reason that they won their league, and you can see that. And secondly, I'd just like to thank all of our fans. I mean, it's quite amazing again to have the turnout that we did, a 58-23 down here on the attendance for a 2:30 game. It's one of those things that I know we don't have control of, but I mean, just think if we could have figured out a way to get a 7 p.m. or a 7:30 tip, I think it would have been unbelievable for those kids from Central Arkansas, from DePaul and James Madison, if they played 5:30 or whatever, to be able to play in front of 7,000 or 8,000. So I'm just really, really impressed with our fans. Thank them. Thank all of our business people in town that allowed their employees to come, because it speaks volumes for them also. So would like to thank just everybody that made it out here for the ball game today. And then of course, it's a ball game that we were able to pull away and win, but it's one that we have to really look at some film and evaluate ourselves and figure out if we're going to play harder. And if not, then we'll probably have one more game left in us on Sunday, and then we'll pack things up and start doing individual workouts on Tuesday, because we aren't going to be able to advance with the effort that we gave today.
All right, Coach. Questions for student athletes?
Jonathan Linder, Courier-Journal. Both of you guys can answer. What did you see as a turning point there in the second quarter that led to that big run?
Myisha first, please.
We started to get transition points, got the ball out of our hands and up the court, and we started taking advantage of our advantage in the post. We just started scoring better in the post and transition points.
Dakota.
Okay, yeah, and Dakota's
Was the whole reason. I agree, but it's the whole reason. We need to give credit where credit's due, and that's Dakota Weatherford came in the game and changed it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about her. I mean, the basket and foul there. You guys, how great is it, I guess, to see a teammate succeed like that? That coming off the bench doesn't get to play a whole lot, and then has such a key moment in the game.
All right.
It's really great, especially because we know how hard she works in practice, and just to see it translate to the game is awesome. About when the turning point was, I think it was just more of a wake-up call, because I don't think they understood how it doesn't matter what your record is. It's a completely different ball game when the NCAA tournament starts, so you can't take teams lightly. So I think, like Myisha said, like transition points and stuff, we just started pushing the ball and understanding that we need to play hard.
Ashley McLean, Louisville Women's Sports. Myisha, how are you feeling out there? I think there were several key moments in the game where the media and the crowd was looking like, wow, she's really getting bodied in the paint, getting bodied on jumpers, but she's making some shots that look a little crazy, but they went in. So how are you feeling? How was your game feeling like out there?
I felt good out there. Felt good out there. Sorry. I just had to start making layups first. That's where it all starts, with the layups and my teammates finding me for easy shots, and then everything else starts to flow. Then I started hitting the jump shot, and it was just like everything just started clicking better.
Jody Nimlick from Cardinal Authority. Mariah, just talk about the effort that Coach was talking about, especially early on in the defensive end where it didn't seem like you guys were giving a lot of it.
Yeah, definitely. The effort wasn't there completely. I mean, I wouldn't say all 5 players weren't, but if you have 2 that aren't, it brings down the whole team. So that's why the spark of Dakota coming in gave us better help on defense.
Thanks, Mariah. More questions for the Cardinals? All right, then we will, Judge.
Josh Adler, Associated Press. Myisha, what's your mentality when you're down in this situation? You know, it's the NCAA tournament, you go home if you lose. This isn't the first time you've kind of stepped up this season and taken over.
I mean, it all starts with defense. We have to get stops in defense in order to get up on the score because we were down. So it all started on the defensive end and getting stops, and that transitioned into offense.
All right, we're going to let the student athletes go and have questions for Coach Walz. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim Neander from Scout Coach. Is it too early for you to have any thoughts about the Paul?
No, I mean, if we defend the way we just did for that 40 minutes, they could score about 120. So unless we don't miss a shot, it's not going to look very good.
Do you have any comparisons on your inside game today versus what they did against James Madison?
Well, you know, what they do is they have so many players that can shoot the basketball. Doug does a fantastic job of recruiting kids in his system. You know, and part of that is to be able to spread the floor and shoot the ball. And when you've got your 5 player knocking down threes, you can't really help off of anyone. And then, you know, you try to switch a ball screen. They do a great job of rolling that post to the basket. Their guards do a great job of throwing it up, and they finish. So it's going to be a challenge. You know, it's going to be a challenge to be able to keep them in front of us. It's like I've told our kids in there before you came in the media. If we have to chase the ball around, it's not going to be a good day because they pass the ball so well. They don't dribble it. We like to dribble. You know, I've told a few of our kids, I think they're applying for a job, as we used to say when we were growing up, as a Spalding ball tester, to just see if there's enough air in each basketball. Like, you know, the great teams get that ball moving without dribbling it. So we need to cut back our dribbles, and when we do that, we look pretty good at the offensive end. It's actually really fun to watch. DePaul does that consistently. And that's why they're able to score like they do, because they find that next player who's open, and instead of taking a dribble or two, which allows a defense to shift, they're getting that ball to them. So now all of a sudden it's an uncontested 3. And it's pretty impressive to watch. So we have to be able to do a good job of containing the bounce and not allowing them to make us have to help. If we've got to help on their dribble drive, on their guards attacking, then we're going to be chasing them. And that's not a good thing to do when you're playing the ball.
You had mentioned Dakota Weatherford and her incredible playing during that run, but it also looked like Sam Fury really came in to give you some great quality minutes as well.
You know, Sam gave some great minutes at the offensive end. There's no question about that. Our key was the effort Dakota gave on the defensive end. She's really the only player I've got right now that will dive on the floor after loose balls. Whenever there's a 50-50 ball, if you watch Dakota during that game, she's on the floor. And she understands at this point of the season, because I guess she's listened to what we've been trying to tell her, that, you know, you've got to come up with 50-50 balls. If you want to win in March, you've got, when there's a loose ball, you can't bend over and get it. You got to dive after it. Now, the arrow might not be in our favor, but now it's going to be in our favor the next one. And she was on the floor. She got deflection. She had her hands in there. She ended up scoring 7 points. You know, it's not that she was scoring a bunch, although she had a great attack to the basket and scored. But it's what she did at the defensive end. She comes up with 3 steals.
Coach, it's Daryl Faust, Kentucky Women Talk Sports.
I was just curious, regardless who you all may face in the future, this young team with a lot of hype around it started coming on strong in the conference play. Is there a vulnerability for this team that any team could take advantage of?
Well, I mean, in today's game, you saw how we defended it in the first period. If we don't come with a toughness that you have to have at this time of the year, it's going to be a struggle. And that's one thing that we'll talk about tonight. We're going to watch film tonight. We'll practice tomorrow, watch some more film. And we have to make sure that they're completely prepared. And, they watched the first half of that DePaul James Madison game. I mean, if they didn't see how good DePaul is, I don't know what to tell them. Because it was quite a performance that DePaul put on. It was fun to watch.
Sam Drow, the Louisville Cardinal. Mariah kind of had a rough ACC tournament. You kind of said she was in her head and stuff. What did she kind of do tonight? What did you see from the past couple of weeks for her to kind of get refocused?
Well, I thought she continued to play. Instead of worrying about missing a shot or two, she played through it. She ends up with 4 assists and 2 turnovers. She went to the offensive glass, had 3 offensive rebounds. And it was nice to see. I was trying to get her at the end there a shot to just see a 3 go in. So it was really important, I think, for her to see her last 3 point shot attempt to go in. And then she got to the free throw line. And that's one thing that she does well. So I thought she did some really good things. We're going to need both her and Myisha, not just offensively, but they're going to have solid defensive games for us on Sunday.
Jeff, you can prepare your team with film, getting ready, but 48 hours, what can you do, specific steps to change effort in that short of time?
Well, I mean, it's a matter if they want to continue on. It's the time of year that would you rather continue playing or have to deal with me in individual workouts? I'd rather play. So, we are going to be happy. I'm not going to be pleased if our effort is not better. Our fans deserve more, and our players know that. You take away the first period, I thought we did some good things as the game progressed, but you can't start the game like that. It's inexcusable. You might miss some shots, that's fine, because of the excitement, the adrenaline that's going, but you've got to give the effort at the defensive end. And that's one thing that, I'm going to be shocked if we don't come out on Sunday and give much better effort.
Time for a couple more.
Jeff Graham, Hayes, ESPN. Following up on what Mariah was saying earlier, for you, was it a lack of effort from all 5 starters out there? Or was
It was all 5. I think Mariah forgets to throw herself in that mix sometimes. So yeah, it was all 5. It was people standing up off the ball. We weren't shifting. We had no ball pressure when we needed to have it. And there were a few kids on the scouting report that we said when they have the ball, back off of it. We're supposed to go and double a ball screen when it was at the 3-point line. Within the first 3 minutes, they set one and we don't double it. Those are the kind of things that we've been able to do here in the past that's made us successful. We have to be able to play scouting report defense and know who's out there. And it was all 5, unfortunately.
Right.
There was one play in particular, Myisha, when she went end to end and she jumps for that jumper and just kind of threw it in. I looked over and you're shaking your head. Did she ever surprise you with the play she's able to make? I know you probably didn't want her to.
Well, she surprised herself. I'm not sure she just surprised me. She surprised herself, because we've really been trying to work with her that when she goes coast to coast, it's like 2 for 10. Now she'll make a remarkable play. That play she made in the ACC tournament where she went behind the back and then did a step through and made the layup, that was great. But then they forgot to put the charge a highlight on that she had the next time she did it. And that's where we've been trying to get her, like, if you're going to do it, you got to be able to come to a jump stop at times. You got to control your body. And she left her feet to pass. And then was like, oh, she's not open. And kind of just threw it up and went in. And she knew it. So that's why I was shaking her head, my head, and at halftime she was like, yeah, I forgot the jump stop. It's like, yeah, you sure did. So it's a process. But, from where the progress that she's made this season from last is tremendous, and the kid wants to be a special player. So I think she's going to continue to work on some things, work on her ball handling, work on her range, extend it out to the three-point line, because she's extremely talented.
Anything else?
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.